Ryan, why are we back here at Katawa Shoujo again? Didn't you literally just post a video of this up? As I flub up English again? Well, viewer, you are right. I did just recently do a Katawa Shoujo video. But we have to be so close to the end, I'm going to keep kicking myself if this gets dragged out for like a whole other month. And Men of Valor got wrapped up. So, if I get this wrapped up, I've opened up my schedule for 2 brand new games to start playing on the channel. At least. At least. At least. So, I need to know how this ends. Where is it going? How did we get here? How could this story end? There are a few points in the past where it could have ended, and it would have been a happy ending in more ways than one. But we're still going! We're talking to Akira on the phone, on my flip phone. I miss my old flip phone. Seriously, I hate my newer phones. I hate the newer phones. They're fucking dumb. Bring back the flip phones. At least I wasn't butt dialing people while I was doing construction work with my flip phone. You free right now? Akira, for you, I'm always free. Free for what, though? I think I just admitted that I'm free and down for anything without understanding the situation that you're about to drag me into. I guess? Why? Could you meet me at the park in town? I just want to talk to you about some stuff. We're about to be whacked. We're about to confirm that there is a vampire mafia, and we're about to be whacked. No, Hisao, no, boy, no. My man. You need to ask if this is going to be someplace more public than just saying the park. Is this an invitation to a date? What? Of course not. She sounds suddenly crestfallen. Her previous teasing nature having instantaneously left. It seems strange for her. Anyway, I don't see why not. When do you want to meet? Kind of now-ish. We're about to be whacked. Wait. Right now? But it's... The dead silence suddenly coming from the phone announces the fact that she has unceremoniously hung up. Alright, so I was able to get through unceremoniously without too much of a hiccup. Let's start placing our bets on what simple word we flub up on. And flub up hard. For a long time I just stand there, staring at the call ended message on the screen while we're playing the conversation in my head. What the fuck, Akira? Wondering if I should make some Katawa Shoujo girls from my possible XCOM playthrough in the future. Oh, possibilities. Anyway, throwing a glance up and down the street, I cross the road and step into the park. I've learned to pace myself on such walks, mostly because of the slower speed during our forays into town, meaning I have to consciously slow myself down. That aside, I hope Akira didn't expect me to be, immediately prompt. Oh, we have new art. This looks nice. She looks very calm, cool, collective, if not for the fact that she's holding what's probably an incredibly cheap brand of beer. But other than that, she looks fucking professional as all goddamn hell, and I approve. Well, bam! I need to be careful who I bam to in the future. It can lead to awkward situations. It takes only a couple of seconds to spot her waiting on a bench with a can of beer in her hand. The look she gives me as I walk up lack any hint of acknowledgement or greeting. What's with that look? I needn't have come, you know. I had things to do. Kinda.
I knew you would. You're that kind of person after all.
Fuck's that supposed to mean? I lower my brow at her remark as she disposes of the can, emptied by the time I arrived, and the metallic clatter rings out. Akira takes a seat on the old wooden bench, and I follow her. What? She was already sitting. Okay. Okay, she brought a fucking six-pack. She came prepared. She takes another can of beer from beside her and opens up before speaking, taking a large gulp. She seems to really like that stuff. I suppose I don't need to ask what this is about, or rather, who it's about.
I heard from Lily that you asked about our family.
Oh, it's about to fucking come. I'm going to turn around, and it's going to be Hanako of all people that was hired for the hit. And if that's not the case, then the people who made this game should have goddamn hired me at the time to write it for them.
Oh, they share more than phone numbers. That's for sure. I'd probably be very worried right now if it weren't for the total lack of malice in her words. Rather, her tone sounds almost wistful.
Idle curiosity, mostly.
Mostly.
I have to admit, I've never guessed the two of you were half Scottish. Yeah, never with the goddamn horrible accent I gave Akira. She gives a wry chuckle of amusement.
I've heard that before, trust me.
The small smile falls from her face, her eyes looking almost ahead distantly. Aside from the occasionally elderly couple talking as they slowly walk the meandering paths and the odd aging car, it's pleasantly quiet.
She didn't tell you everything, though, did she?
It was pretty brief. Your parents are in Scotland. She hasn't met them since she was 12, and she wants to meet them again. That's it. That's all. I should have told at least Kenji where I was going so he can avenge me if I disappear.
It's always surprised me how devoted she is to our parents, for all the good they did us.
The way she says it sounds almost derisive. She gives a small sigh as if to quickly brush the feelings away.
Why do you think they left, Hisao?
I don't know. I don't know! How'd it get burned?
Why do I think they left? From what Lily told me, it was because of work. I guess a pretty decently paying job was involved as well, given the way your parents seem to live. This conversation's not going well. So Lily went to a private school, and that's why she carries herself with the airs and graces of the upper class. Yeah, since the business in Iran has boomed, her father decided to move directly to the same city as its headquarters. That's just the conclusion I thought you'd come to, though. You're too good-natured.
At least she's smiling, so it was a compliment? You don't think they left for their career?
I'm sitting here bitching to you about it. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yamaku Academy. I've always felt that place was kind of creepy. Like it was an isolated hideaway for those proper society. doesn't want to be seen or heard. They probably just rue the fact that Lily wasn't old enough to be shoved there by the time they left.
A long silence follows her abrupt and very harsh criticism of her own parents and Yamaku. Lily's blindness is hardly something that can be simply ignored for a high-class family attempting to keep up appearance. Why the... wait, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not from a rich family, obviously, but... is that something... Like, if you're rich and your kid came out blind, is that something you sweep under the rug? Is it just me? Anyway, much less so a lucrative offer is on the table. Eventually, Akira gives a derisive snort, her feelings coming to a head.
Moving to secure a financial future with his new job posting. Even at the time, I hardly believed it. Not wanting to simply be an avenue for her venting, I gently tried to steer the discussion.
So, how things going with your boyfriend? Okay, Hisao's gonna steer this into another direction.
So you stayed in Japan with Lily then? Either I stayed with her, or she went to live with an ailing grandmother and grandfather.
What about Shizune's family? If you're cousins, then...
Our fathers hate each other. I have been more than happy to tell them to go screw themselves and live with them anyway, but Lily wouldn't have wanted that. I'd also have an off for a job by then. So we did our best to keep our parents' house in proper shape and tried to continue our lives as if they never left.
So you just lived by yourselves?
Basically. Lily had school and I had my job, so we weren't exactly languishing. With her schooling, her study, and having to do chores while I worked, though, I can't help the feeling like I failed her. In the end, I tried to be there for her and screwed it up.
I feel like I should once again apologize for my horrible accent. I am not a voice actor. Nor was I prepared to be voicing multiple female characters.
Expecting a 19-year-old to be the mother of a blind child. It's ridiculous.
So, Lily and Akira have lived alone after their parents moved, with Lily largely taking care of herself. I guess that explains her apparent independence compared to many in Yamaku. I may have lived alone much of the time since my parents both worked, but that's just something else entirely.
Sorry for making you listen to my moaning, Hisao.
That's okay. I now know that if you two ever get on my bad side, I can totally just flex on both of you by hanging out with my parents. That's a terrible thing, but no, I'm sticking to those. I'm sticking to that nuclear option. It's like when you want to flex on Batman, so you go hug your parents. Oh God, I'm gonna remember that. I'm using that. The next time anyone goes on a binge saying how awesome Batman is, you just go, I like to flex on Batman by saying I love you to my parents. I don't mind at all, but do you mind if I ask why you're telling me all this? This isn't one of those scenarios where it's like you can tell me everything because I'm about to die, right?
You always were curious.
I'm a lot less curious about some things now. Ask your sister! Whoa! I'm on fire tonight, what the fuck? Context, I suppose.
Life isn't a fairy tale, Hisao. Some people have to learn that the hard way. She takes a long drink. Oh, I need to take a long yawn. Oh. She takes a long drink from the can in her hand, her face becoming more depressed than distant. I broke up with my boyfriend a few days ago. After I leave, we're not going to be able to see each other again.
So what you're saying is that you're single. I'm going to click to continue the story now. And we're going to be thankful that she can't hear me.
But that's how life is. You can't just set up your life up and expect it to stay that way forever. Sometimes stuff happens that you have to roll with, even if it means hurting yourself or others.
She takes a long breath before looking up at the bright orange sky.
Damn, if I smoked, I could take a nice long drag right about now and look kinda cool.
I have cigars. You want to borrow one? No, you don't borrow cigars. Would you like to just have one? I want to... fuck, now I want a cigar. I'll later after I'm done. I want to respond, to help her in whatever way I can, but I feel utterly useless. This kind of situation is one I've never been in, and I simply don't have the experience to say anything meaningful to comfort her. Akira looks over and evidently picks up on this, much to my embarrassment.
I must look pretty pathetic right now, whining about this to someone I barely know.
Hardly! And I'm pretty much an expert on looking pathetic. She gives a chuckle, the act feeling like a personal victory for me.
You're a good kid, Hisao. When I said that I approved of you being with my sister, I wasn't joking or just being nice.
She picks herself up off the seat with a grunt, one that seems ill-fitted given her age. Fuck that. I was grunting, moaning, trying to move my ass when I was like 10. And throws the now empty can into the bin after one last swig.
It's just unfortunate that it doesn't really count for much in this world.
No, it doesn't. Being nice doesn't get you shit, folks. We're doing life lessons with Papa Ryman and Akira over here. Who's now single, by the way?
When I said I was leaving for Scotland, I was doing it because of a good position open up in our company's headquarters. When our folks told me that when we were at their place, though, they also gave Lily a summons to rejoin them in Iverness.
No way! Her evasiveness when asked about her future, that awkwardness that had steadily grown between us, that uncharacteristic outburst of anger. Oh, fuck me relentlessly, Lily's leaving. That's where this story's going? What? All of them suddenly fit into place. The same family that she's reminiscing about after Hanako's birthday party. The same family that left her and Akira to themselves after taking flight to greener pastures. Now I feel stupid for never concerning Lily on what was bugging her. I've never even considered if something had happened during the trip to her family's home. And now a sense of unease grows in my chest. That's called your heart attack coming in, my boy. If her family has summoned her to join them in Scotland, all the way on the other side of the planet, and we're here in Japan, and the guy who's reading this is over here in New York, gonna be one hell of a fucking middleman here. Has she accepted?
Lily hasn't told me whether she plans to accept. And it seems she hasn't told you either. That's why I called you down here to talk, Hisao.
Contacts, huh? I sit back. My feelings of worry and frustration no doubt written all over my face.
Lily's a strong person, Hisao. But she's not infallible. I guess it's my job to worry about her, being her older sister, but I think that you deserve to know.
I understand. So, was I just gonna wake up one morning, turn over, and the girl who was supposed to be there is fucking in Scotland? Someone bring me my bagpipes, because I think we're gonna have to go to war. This is gonna be like, fuck Marvel's Infinity War, or Marvel's Civil War, whatever. Both of them, actually. This is gonna be the throwdown of the century.
Are you okay? You sound depressed.
Part of me is bummed, because this is where this story is going, but another part of me is excited, because there might be a fight. You know, Hisao, my man, wait. I'm flinging my arms around like a crazy person saying this. Here's what's going to go down. She's going to go to Scotland, right? Okay? Follow me? Okay, cool. You're then going to get a posse, and you're going to go on a grand fucking adventure around the world until you reach Scotland. You're going to get off that plane, you're just going to, like, body slam the first person you see when you hop off that plane. You just jump off the plane on the runway. So, like, BAM! I don't know who the person is you're bodying, but it's going to happen. It'd be like, Lily! I'm here because I love you! It's going to be like a fucking great romantic adventure story. Trust me on this. Bitches love that shit. That's how this story is going to end. And it's going to involve a couple of montages, a single trip to Vegas, and fighting a bunch of Nazi ninjas. I don't know. I'm working the script out in my head as I talk. No, you're damn right, Hisao's thinking. My thoughts are going through his thoughts right now. And I just realized there are 3 fucking people down there in the background. 2 of them are holding umbrellas. What the hell? How long have they been here? How long have I not noticed? Why are 2 of them holding umbrellas? It's broad fucking daylight.
That's good. Thinking is good. Being rash won't get you anywhere.
Oh, being rash that's one thing. It's after I've thought out my battle plans. That's when people need to start worrying. She looks at her watch, barely moving her wrist.
I've got to go. Will you be okay?
I'll be fine. Don't worry. I'll have to talk to Lily about it and get everything sorted out. Call up Kenji. Kenji's probably got a few connections in Scotland, or at least some other safe houses around the world for this love trip that we're going on. She gives a smile, but it doesn't feel all that genuine or sincere. Really, both of us are dancing around the fact that Lily's on the precipice of the biggest decision of her life, and is trying to take the entire burden on herself. And part of that burden is a matter of our relationship. By the time I look up, Akira is already walking off with her hand held up. For the first time in a long while, I finally have an answer to something. Perhaps not even that, but at least I now have the right question to ask. Girl, what the fuck are you doing? Will you leave or stay? That's how the love adventure kicks off. You kick in the door and be like, girl, will you leave or will you stay? And her answer, depending on her answer, is how the rest of this shit's gonna go off. Season 2 is either going to wrap up right there. Fuck your end of the story thing. I just started. I'm going to keep on fucking going. The way this story's being panned out in my head, the whole entire... Oh, look at that rain. The whole entire Season 2 is going to come to a goddamn screeching halt and end, or it's going to go on for like 80, 90 more parts. Hurry, Lily!
I'm moving as fast as I can.
I can barely make out Lily's voice over the deafening pounding of the rain, even though I dislike pulling her around. The situation calls for it. I turn forward, my free hand over my head in a futile attempt to keep at least my hair dry. Oh, fuck it at that point. My vision seems to be in grayscale. This really is rotten weather for summer. It's better than fucking snow, and the last kind of climate I'd want for a date. A pity. I even checked the weather forecast beforehand, one of the very few times I've ever done so, only for it to say that Sunday afternoon will be fine. Fuck the local weather station. Looking to Lily, her shoulders are now completely drenched, with her right hand holding tightly to mine and her left gripping her retracted cane. This horrid downpour came on just as we were between our destination, Senyaku. So we decided to try rushing the rest of the distance rather than doubling back. Entirely unused to running this fast, Lily's using all her concentration just to avoid tripping over. Stop going out in heels. That will help.
Hisao, do you know where we're going?
Well, I would ask you, She's even reduced to shouting to try and be heard over the combined noise of the wind and the rain. We're going to the fucking Shanghai. The Shah? The rest of my voice is completely drowned out by even the heavier bursts of rain.
The what?
I'm not yelling, there are people trying to sleep in my house. The Shanghai!
How far is it?
It shouldn't be far now! A potentially last date. And we're doing it at the goddamn tea house. Doesn't take long before I call out to her once again. It looks like we're safe. It's just up ahead. I quickly pull to a stop just in front of the familiar exterior, the lantern outside still giving off its reliable glow, and wait for Lily to catch her breath before going in. Ladies first! The tiny bell inside rings out when I hold the door open for her, a smile and a polite nod being my reward before entering myself. As I step in behind her and wipe my feet, only a quick glance is necessary to notice the distant lack of activity. Distinct. Well, there's that word I would fuck up, folks. The Shanghai doesn't seem to get much in the way of patronage, and today is no different. Only a couple of tables are occupied. Summoned by the bells ringing, a most expected person comes to greet us. Oh boy! Welcome to the Shanghai! Yuko looks chipper today. Trying to predict her moods is pretty hard, but it's a nice change from the norm.
Hello, Yuko.
Hey. Good afternoon, you two. She takes a deep bow, somewhat taken aback as she rights herself again and gets a better look at us. What happened to you? You both look. You get 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. Her eyes drift towards the glass of the door behind us. Oh dear. We're inside now, at least. I think that's the most important thing.
It's nice and cozy. You're lucky to be working inside today.
It has been nice and quiet. I like days like this. Oh, wait, sorry. Is there anything you'd like?
French vanilla tea, please.
Yeah, I'll have the same. Right, coming right up. She quickly skitters off with a determined look on her face, trying very hard not to forget our orders. If nothing else, she is at least dedicated to her jobs. I lead Lily to an empty seat before the two of us settle down. As usual, there's a large difference between my exhausted flopping down in my seat and Lily's delicate sliding into hers, her cane set beside her. For a while, I just idly watch the rain falling outside. The occasional person runs down the street trying to stay as dry as possible, hands often tightly gripping a rain-soaked umbrella. Lily sits just as quietly as I, her eyes closed as she intently listens to all that's happening. It's a comfortable, relaxing silence that exists between us, just the type that we so often shared together in past months. So, you staying or you going? For Lily, at least. I can't help replaying the words of her sister in my mind, at times contrasting them to both our time spent together since I entered Yamaku, and to the way we've been since we started dating. No matter how much I try, I can't work Lily out. As if the harder I try to second-guess her emotions and her potential decision, the more difficult it becomes to reach a clear conclusion. So, you staying or you going? And why do I have to find out from your sister and not you? These are fair questions you ask when you're in a supposed to be normal relationship. It makes me doubt whether I'd ever really understood her. In the end, I'm going to have to ask, even though I'm very much want to avoid doing so. I'll do it for you. Send your stand forth. You staying or you going?
You seem quiet today, Hisao.
Really?
You seem so enthusiastic about taking me out on a date. I'd assume you had something specific you wanted to do.
No, not really. Just wanted to spend some time with you. You staying or you going?
Is that so?
Fine. There was one thing. Oh! A little grin finds its way into Lily's face, her knowing full well that she bested me. It makes what I want to say all the more awkward. It was just... Akira and I were talking.
Oh?
What's with that tone?
You two do seem to get on well, don't you?
And you think I'm nailing her or something? No. Well, I do think she's a pretty cool person to talk with. It'd be nice if any of the teachers were anything like her.
Cool.
For a moment, I try to place her tone of voice, my mouth curling into a smirk as I realize it. You're not jealous, are you?
I'm not jealous.
After her teasing me over such a thing on our first date, I don't feel too bad having a little laugh at her expense this time around. As we settle down, though, it's only a minor distraction from the real point of why I brought Lily here. Wait a second. Hold up now. You know, we're gonna go like white man anger levels level 5 here. Now hold on a second here, Buster. Angrily adjusting glasses. This is a real serious relationship thing that's about to go down. This is going to be a very, very adult conversation. And you decided you were gonna do it in a public place. With people around. Well, allow me to step aside a little bit, pull up my own seat to a table, sip some tea while I watch this potential fiasco unfold. You fucking twit. You should have gone with my plan of just kicking in her door. At least it was private. Don't worry. It was mostly just everyday stuff, mostly. That said, there was something Akira mentioned that I wanted to talk to you about. Right about now, me sipping my tea, like, nudging over to the other patrons at the Shanghai and be like, oh, fuck, here it comes, watch this. When you went to see your family in Urbanus a while back, she said... Akira told you about my family summons, hasn't she? Seconds tick by while I try to read Lily's face, an odd mixture of feelings written on it. She seems annoyed, but also somewhat confused. Meanwhile, there would be me sipping tea next to everyone else. Oh, there it is! There it is! Great timing! Yuko had probably only has one true purpose in all of Katawa Shoujo, and it's to make this awkward even more awkward. So, you fucking don't. Let's have this conversation in public. In public. In public? Yes, in public. Just sip more of my tea. You believe this guy? I gotta follow him around, and we're mentally linked. We're mentally and spiritually linked. But here, he done royally fucked it. You done fucked it up. Yuko, come have a seat next to us. This is all you, Hisao. I'm not. I had my suggestion on how you should handle this. You should have just either gone with option A, kicking in her door and confronting her, because that's at least in private, or B, gathering up a posse of adventurers and going on a love adventure to reunite and be happily ever after and all that shit. But no, you went with option C. Let's have this conversation in front of other people. I'm surprised you didn't bring Hanako along. Yuko tentatively slides our drinks onto the table, her presence oddly small. As she walks back to the counter after a quick polite nod, I realize the air between me and Lily is thick, and our expressions are both somewhat pensive. Even though she says I should lead my own life, she still interferes at the worst times. I don't think you should blame Akira here. She's just looking out for you, and it's not like I can't understand her concern over this. Lily's irritation gives way to an awkward and largely unsuccessful attempt to mask her feelings. She really doesn't deal well with being cornered on personal topics. I know, but I just wanted some more time. I knew you figured it out eventually, but obviously not. Hisao would have gone completely ignorant, and to an extent I also would have, until you were stepping on the fucking plane. You were intentionally hiding this from me? For how long were you planning to do so? As I said, I simply wanted more time to think it through. I wanted to be sure of my decision before telling you. Meanwhile, there I am in the fucking corner with all the other patrons saying, I'm gonna need a refill and mix it with something heavy. What did you decide to do, Nan? Oh, here it comes. I know what I want her to say, but an awful feeling refuses to leave my gut. I've lost my ability to read. This situation has turned so bad and so awkward that I should be like, oh my god, but instead for some reason it's gotten so bad. I've done a complete 180 and I'm trying to be funny. And I'm not being successful. We're about to get stabbed in the fucking gut.
My family does dearly want me to return to them, and Akira will be going as well. I could still teach as a career, whether it be here or there.
So, you're going. How long have you known? I already know you were asked when you first went to Scotland about a month ago.
Some time.
My frustration nearly boils over. The fact that she's done this affects me more than it should. For her to not only be leaving, but to have been actively hiding her own plans from me, and after seeming for so long to be one solid pillar of support and reliability I could depend on. It feels as if the foundation underneath me is suddenly shifting drastically, much faster than I can adapt to. Perhaps this isn't so much frustration as sheer unease. Lily. Okay. At this point, this is when I would get up from the corner I was sitting in, come back over to this table, sit next to Hisao, put an arm around him and go, all right, Hisao, I'm bringing it in here, buddy. Come here, you stupid fucking man. You're my boy. My pal. You and I were like fucking one. I don't know what it is. You're incredibly frustrated right now. I can see that. The rest of the patrons can see that. Yuko back there is hiding underneath the steel counter. This is delicate, and I've had my laughs. I've had my fill. Please. Don't fuck this worse than you already have fucked this by doing this in a public setting. Please be calm. Please be adults. You can't make me, of all people, seem like the adult in this room of supposed adults. Please don't fuck this.
I'm sorry. I wanted to think this through completely. I wasn't trying to take advantage of you. Please.
I know, Lily, I know. This is just really sudden. I guess this means that once you go, we'll be breaking up? For one of the few times I've seen since I met her, she's generally lost for words. She doesn't look surprised, no doubt because of the fact it dawned on her since she became sure of her decision, but rather she appears generally unsure of how to deal with the situation now that's in front of her.
We could try pursuing a long-distance relationship. They're getting more and more common these days, after all.
Even as she says it, the tone of her voice gives away that she doesn't truly believe what she's saying. Lily's far too old-fashioned to be able to cope with a relationship without any kind of physical presence. And even I am, to an extent. All we would ever be to each other would be a voice from the other side of the world. In the end, trying to rationalize everything is futile. Any attempts to try and connect what's happening with the future or past just seem to get more difficult the more I concentrate. Those quiet moments when I just walk side by side, those precious times we spent with Hanako and Akira, the casual chatter we had during lunch times, the times we made love, the times I had to read you making love. Focus. The confessions of our feelings to each other. All pointless. All just a fleeting moment in our lives. Our young lives. Well, lives in general. We're just two children pretending to be adults, aren't we? Oh my god, I think that sums up my generation. We're all still kids just pretending to be adults. A long, long silence hangs in the air between us. The noise of the other patrons drinking and talking only makes this situation feel more strange and disconnected. Again, that's on you, Hisao, for doing this here. Lily's face remains low, her dejected expression clouding it. I'm sorry, Hisao. A simple apology, and no more. She left entirely without any further response or comment. With a long sigh, I gather what's left of my thoughts and ask the final question I have for her. Was it at least good for you? Oh, never mind. When will you be going? I'll be leaving with Akira, so it'll be a little less than a week. The beginning of the summer holidays? Just a little afterward, yes. Her tone is unusually slow and steady. Her apologetic and depressed mood all the more written into her face as she tries to hide it in her voice. In the end, I can't even keep my promise of going to Tanabata with her before she leaves. I look down, seeing my face reflected in the now lukewarm cup of neglected tea sitting in front of me. I really thought I left this kind of expression behind. You never leave expressions like that behind, my man. That is probably going to become your default face. I should know. My default face is one of anger. It's very bad. For a while, I just stared down at the still surface, trying to sort through my emotions to get at what course of action I should take, whether it be right now or in the future. But, just as before, the effort is wasted. I glance up to see Lily gently sipping her cool tea without complaint, her face drawn and shoulders slumped. She looks to be in deep thought too, a strangely cold atmosphere coming between us as we isolate ourselves to mull things over. Even as Lily's cup slowly empties, mine remains untouched. It's a long time before I notice the rain dying down outside and a few other patrons of the Shanghai having left. The chill of the rapidly darkening evening permeates the dormitory hallways. While trudging down the corridor to my room, I see an unwelcome movement from my Kenji. Oh God. This will either save the moment or leave us on a horrible note. Sure enough, the door opposite of mine heralds the arrival of the bespectacled Kenji. Hey man, what's... Whoa, dude. You look awful, I think. You okay? He really has a knack for making any situation better. I don't really want to get into it. It's late. Okay, that's cool. If you ever want to talk about it, I'm here. I look at him for a moment before surrounding my stern front and awkwardly scratching the back of my neck. Embarrassed by my standoffish response to him. Thanks, Kenji. Hey, it's cool. That's what friends are for, right? Yeah, you're right. See ya. That was surprisingly normal and human. I open the door to my own dorm room and close it behind me as he quickly waves me off. The solid thud the door makes against the door frames sounds off the final call for the life that I've led since coming to Yamaku. I just stand in my darkened room, fruitlessly attempting to work out what I should do from this point onwards. Just what should I do? Oh, wow, I fucking blazed through 2 goddamn chapters? let me step away for a second to see what my time is. Okay, folks. According to my time, I'm starting to near an hour. So no doubt I've lost a bunch of you probably by now. But for those who are still here, this is where we're going to have to leave things off for now. So now I'm damn curious to know how this is going to end up. So I'm going to be trying pumping out the Katawa Shoujo videos to finish off season 2 in rapid succession. Because fuck, this has gotten way more complicated and deep and emotional than Hanako's path. At least I think. Hanako is a messed up girl though, but now we're dealing with messed up family shit. Then again, Hanako also had messed up family shit. Everyone's got messed up family shit. That's probably going to be the theme of this entire franchise. Katawa Shoujo, every girl's got a messed up family shit. Who doesn't? Oh god. So yeah, if you had fun listening / watching me stumble my way through simple words of Katawa Shoujo, give the video a like, subscribe, share all this shit with your friends and families. Force it down their throats, actually, please. Follow the Facebook page, and hop on board the Discord if you want to hang out. I gotta edit, and then I gotta reflect on life or something, because, oh, Jesus Christ almighty on a pogo stick in May. I need a drink, and I need that cigar, like, fucking ASAP. Adios, folks. Stay awesome out there. I got that mixed up. Vice versa. Switch it around. Goodbye.